You just closed a $15,000 deal, and 30 days later, it's gone. Not spent on anything crazy, not blown on one big purchase, just gone. That's not bad luck. That's a broken system. And today, you're going to fix it. What's up, Roof Money Pros? Mike here with Roof Money Pro, and my mission is to help roofing professionals like you maximize your careers and build real wealth. This channel exists for one specific person, the rep who's closing deals, stacking commissions, running hard, and still looking at his bank account at the end of every year wondering where the hell it all went. If that's you, hit subscribe right now because every single video on this channel is built specifically for you. And before you think this is another budgeting video, it's not. This is a real dollar by dollar breakdown of one $15,000 commission check, where it should go, why it disappears when it doesn't have a plan, and the exact allocation system that lets you close a deal and immediately know what it means for your life, not just your bank account. This is the framework that took the pressure completely off my sales performance and changed how every single deal felt. Let's get into it. Nobody wakes up and decides to blow $15,000. That's just not how it happens. The first time serious money hit my account, and I mean stop and look at your phone twice money, I didn't go crazy. I didn't run out and do something stupid, but I had this very real, very quiet realization. Income like this comes in waves, and without a plan, the wave just washes right over you. Here's how it actually happens. The check lands, you cover what's urgent, you treat yourself a little because you earned it, you spot something you've been putting off, and you take care of it. And then a few weeks later, you look up and you're already thinking about when the next deal closes. Not because you were reckless, but because there was no structure telling the money where to go. The psychology behind this is real. When $15,000 hits all at once, your brain doesn't register the same way it would $1,200 every 2 weeks. Lump sums feel infinite. They feel like a cushion you can sink into. So the spending doesn't look like one big mistake. It looks like 100 small, totally reasonable decisions that add up to nothing. There's a quote that hits different in this business. Discipline isn't about what you do, it's about what you don't do. The rep who keeps his money isn't the guy white knuckling every purchase. He's the guy who built a structure so that most of those temptation decisions never come up in the first place. Without structure, variable income creates variable decisions. Your best months fund bad habits. Your slow months create panic, and the cycle just keeps spinning. And if you're honest, you felt that before. There's a massive difference between earning money and directing money. Earning is what you do on the roof. Directing is what separates the reps who build something real from the ones who just stay busy forever. So if it's not stupidity and it's not discipline, then where does the money actually go? Let's start with the part nobody wants to talk about. And let me say this clearly. If you skip this step, everything else in this video doesn't matter. That $15,000, not all of it is yours. I know, nobody wants to hear about that, but the rep who ignores taxes is basically handing the IRS a no-interest loan every single year, and the IRS is a terrible borrower. They charge penalties, they charge interest, and they absolutely do not care that the busy season was slow. If you're a 1099 roofing rep, and a lot of you are, you're on the hook for both the employee and employer side of self-employment tax, which runs about 15.3% on top of your federal income rate. When you do the full math, most reps in a solid income bracket should be setting aside between 25 and 30 cents out of every dollar before they do anything else. On a $15,000 commission, that's roughly $3,700 to $4,500 that needs to go into a separate account the day you get paid. The day you get paid. Not a week later, not when things settle down. Think of it this way. Before you budget anything, mentally label about 28% of that check property of the IRS. Because it is. You're just holding it for them. Even the top producers in this industry get burned by this one. It's not an intelligence thing. It's a structure thing. Build the habit before you need it and you'll never have a tax surprise again. After a 28% cut, your $15,000 is now $10,800. That's your real number. That's what we're working with. Now here's where most people either get this right or stay stuck forever. This right here, this is the bread and butter. Most people think financial planning is some vague retirement conversation that's going to pay off in 30 years. And look, the long game does matter, but micro plans like this one, deal by deal, check by check, are what make the big picture actually feel real. When you can look at $10,800 and know exactly how it connects to something you're working towards right now, that's when clarity kicks in. That's when this stops being theory and starts being a tool. And no, this isn't about being cheap. Here's how to think about it. Not in raw dollars, but in percentages. Because percentages scale whether your next check is $8,000 or $25,000. Living expenses come first. Rent, truck payment, gas, insurance, groceries, phone, the bare bones expenses. For most reps, this lands between 50 and 60% of take home. The goal over time is to keep this stable or not let it grow every time income does. That's exactly how lifestyle creep starts. Financial stability is next. Short-term savings, your slow season buffer, your emergency fund, these are typically around 10 to 20%. This is the account that keeps you from going into debt every November when deals dry up. Future growth, this is your investing bucket. Roth IRA, brokerage account, whatever investment vehicle fits your situation. Even 5 to 10% consistently compounded over time is how real wealth gets built. Not one lucky year, not a lucky bet on a stock or crypto, consistency. And the fun account. Yes, it's real and it's required. Even if money is tight, even if it's just 1%, you need a guilt-free bucket. Cap it at 5 to 10% max if you've got a good cash cushion built. Never feel bad about spending it, because a financial plan with zero joy in it is a plan nobody sticks to. The fun account is what makes this sustainable long-term and the occasional splurge guilt-free. Every dollar needs a bucket. If it doesn't have one, you already know what happens. This is one piece of a bigger system I use. This is just the surface level. Now watch how fast this adds up. This is where it clicks. Picture this. You just crushed it this month, selling a slew of insurance and retail restoration jobs, all of them full replacements. The total contract value comes in at $150,000. You're at a 10% commission rate, so your check is 15 grand. Great job. Now let's say the goal is to build a $25,000 emergency fund from scratch, starting at zero, done in 6 months. Your spidey senses might be tingling right now and notice something already. Here's where most reps go wrong before they even start. They set the goal without checking if the math actually works. To hit $25,000 in 6 months at a 20% savings rate, you need to be putting away about $4,200 a month. Sounds doable until you run it backwards. That would require over $20,000 a month in take-home income, which means closing around $250,000 in contracts every single month. Now that might be you, but that's not most reps. Not even close. So now we've got a decision to make. One of 3 things has to change. The timeline gets longer, the goal gets smaller, or your expenses get tighter. That's it. And most reps immediately jump to the first 2, stretch the timeline or shrink the goal. But here's where most reps are sitting on hidden money they haven't even touched yet. What if you spent one afternoon negotiating your phone bill down $40 a month, cutting 2 or 3 subscriptions you forgot you had, and shopping your car insurance? Small moves like that can realistically bring living expenses from 55% down to 45%. And on a $10,800 take-home check, that's almost an extra $1,100 freed up every single month without touching your lifestyle in any meaningful way. That's not deprivation, that's just paying attention. So instead of chasing $25,000 in 6 months, the smarter play is a $10,000 starter emergency fund at a pace that actually fits your income. Here's what that breakdown looks like after the 28% tax cut leaves you with $10,800. Living expenses, 45% or $4,860. Negotiated down, intentional, covered. Financial stability, 30% or $3,240. Emergency fund, slow season buffer, and short-term reserves all live here. Future growth, 10% or $1,080 into a Roth IRA or brokerage. Automated, done. Fun account, 5% or $540. Spend it, no guilt, that's the deal. Reduce it if you want to hit your goal faster, but remember that 1% is the minimum. Now this is where it becomes real. At $3,240 per check going towards financial stability, a $10,000 starter emergency fund is done in roughly 3 to 4 commissions, or about 3 to 4 months at a realistic sales pace. That's a goal you can actually hit. That's a goal that builds momentum instead of frustration. And once that $10,000 is funded, you adjust. You shift the stability allocation towards investing or crank it up a notch to hit your original target. You set the next target. The system doesn't change. The goals just evolve as you grow. A realistic plan you can actually follow will beat a perfect plan you abandon every single time. If you want the full framework behind this, how this actually works across multiple checks and months, I put it into a free guide. Links in the description. Because if this doesn't connect to something real, none of this matters. Most reps think in years. The best reps think in deals. Saying, I want to make $150,000 this year is fine, but that's 12 months away. That does nothing for you on a Tuesday when leads are dry and you're staring at your phone. But if you say, this next deal funds 2 months of my emergency fund and gets me one step closer to never white knuckling another slow season, that's a reason to make the call. Reverse engineer it. If the goal is to pay off a $10,000 loan in 4 months, you need $2,500 per month going towards that debt. At 10% commission, you need to close $25,000 in contracts a month. That's 2 mid-sized jobs. That's real. That's a number you can chase on a Tuesday. When each commission is connected to something specific, a powerful thing happens. You stop stressing about money because you already know where it's going before it even arrives. Clarity is the antidote to financial anxiety. Not earning more, knowing exactly where what you earn is going. This is the part nobody expects. This is where I had my actual aha moment, and it's the one piece that ties all this together. When you start allocating your commissions into separate buckets, something unexpected happens. It becomes really easy to say no, not because you're more disciplined, not because you cut your lifestyle, but because the structure makes the decision for you before the temptation ever shows up. Someone says, let's go to Vegas this weekend, and your fund account has $540 in it. The answer is obvious. You don't wrestle with it. You don't feel guilty about saying no. The system already answered for you. Here's the line that became a personal rule for me years ago. It's not that I don't have the money. It's that I don't have it for that. Replay that again, because that one line ends more bad financial decisions than any amount of willpower ever could. The shift is from I made money to I deployed money. From treating your commission like personal cash falling out of the sky to treating it like personal revenue that has a specific job to do. When you see yourself as the CFO of your own income, not just the person who earns it, every decision changes. You stop making moves based on emotion and you start making them based on structure. Most reps don't have a system. What you just watched, this is what it looks like when you do. Willpower runs out. Systems don't. And if you don't fix this now, the next $15,000 will disappear exactly the same way. Here's what to lock in from this video. 1. Taxes come first. 25 to 30% goes into a separate account the day you get paid. No exceptions. 2. Allocate the rest into percentages across living, stability, growth, and fun. And tie every allocation to a real goal you're actively working towards right now. You're already doing the hard part. You're out there closing, grinding, running the calls. Now, make sure every deal is actually building something. Hey Roof Money Pros, if this video hit home for you, be sure to subscribe. I'm dropping new content every week for reps who are done just earning and ready to start building. And if you want the full breakdown system behind this, it's in the description. And be sure to download the Feast-or-Famine Survival Guide. It's free and built specifically for reps just like you. And in the next video, I'm gonna show you what happens when you don't fix this and why even $200,000 roofing reps still feel broke. Watch it next, because once your allocation system is locked in, this is what separates the reps who build real wealth from the ones who just keep closing. Thanks for watching, and in the meantime, keep stacking, keep building, and I'll see you in the next one.